Hi everyone, so today I am going to be talking about Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. Now, this is my second time reading this book, and I just have a lot of thoughts. So I want to preface this by saying that the first time I read this book, this was one of those books that, this is not my copy, or my former copy. I don't have my former copy. This is from the library. But my original copy, it was one of those like books that we found on a stoop that someone left out for people to take. And so I did. I took it. I read it. I was really excited to read it because the name, Creative Living Beyond Fear, and the description, I just was expecting, as someone who is a creative person, who is pursuing a creative life. I am an actor, so I know what it's like to live creatively and just feeling hindered by your creativity sometimes. So I was excited to read it, and then I read it, and I was kind of disappointed by it, so I ended up deciding to give it away or donate it. I don't know what I did with it, but I decided not to keep it for my permanent collection. And yeah, so right now I'm currently making my way through the top 20 leadership books, or top 20 most inspiring books by women, something like that. But this was an article that was released by The Good Trade last year at some point, and this was on the list. And I'm making my way through that list, and I did debate, like, do I want to read that book again? Or do I kind of just want to, I've read it, move on to the next one on the list? And I was like, I'll give it another shot. It's a really, really easy read. It's under 300 pages, and there isn't a lot of text on the pages, so it's really easy to read it. So I was like, whatever, it doesn't hurt. So that is how I ended up reading it twice. And I don't know how I feel about it the second time through. So I do want to say there are some things in here that I do appreciate, which is do things that make you happy, creative things that make you happy, and do them unapologetically. So the point of this book isn't necessarily how to make a living off of your creativity. And she says there's a lot of times too much focus on that. So she mentions a woman who gave up figure skating as a child because it was obvious that she was never going to be a competitive figure skating. She was never going to be a competitive figure skater. And so she gave it up, and she realized that that was the last time that she was really truly happy. So she ended up picking it up again as a 40-year-old woman, and she just did it for fun and didn't worry about how can I sell this. So I did appreciate that aspect, that just because you do something creative, it doesn't mean that you need to make a living off of it, you know. I did appreciate some of the anti-capitalistic messages concerning creativity found in this book, as I do think that is a very important thing for people to hear and be reminded of. It's like, if you enjoy doing something, just do it for fun. There's nothing that says that you need to make a living off of it. There's nothing that says you need to be good. If it brings you joy, if it brings you happiness, do it, and be really bad at it if that's what that is. But if it's fun and it brings you joy, then do it. So I did appreciate that message of the book, and that's something that is kind of widespread. However, I just feel like that's a message that you can find for free anywhere. I mean, I got this book from the library, but you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so like I did appreciate like those aspects of the book, but overall, like the more self-helpy kind of aspects of how to, if you do decide you want to do this as a professionally, like you do want to sell your artwork, your writing, you do want to be a professional actor, dancer, whatever. I did find a lot of like the more self-help aspects of it kind of woo-woo, and that's not how I work as a person. So overall, the self-help genre, I feel like most of them are like that. They're just so woo-woo, and so self-help books in general are not for me. And I just feel like there's just so many aspects of it that are like, well, this is what I did, and that's, you should do it too. And it's like, well, that's just because that's how it worked for you doesn't mean that's how it's gonna work for someone else. So yeah, I know this video is kind of like rambly, and it's going all over the place, but that's kind of just my main problem with the book. So honestly, I don't know if I mean, it seems to have spoken to some people. I mean, self-help books are big for a reason. So if you're okay with the whole woo-woo aspect of it, then maybe you'll appreciate it. But yeah, and I think, I don't know, there's just, I just think there's I don't know. And a lot of her messaging is like, just do it, just get it done. Put it out there. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. But what matters is that you get it done. Which is like true. And like, if you want to be good, like, if you're not good at something and you want to be good at it, like, it takes practice, like that kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like there's nothing necessarily original in this, and I think that's why I was so disappointed in it when I read it 3 years ago, because it was like, well, this is all stuff either that I've learned along my own personal journey, and yeah, there's good reminders in here, because it's so easy to forget that, like, I'm so not good at this, and so why should I do it? And it's like, well, because it makes me happy. So like, there's good reminders of that, but overall, it's like, is there anything like practical, tangible things that you can, I don't know, maybe I'm just not an Elizabeth Gilbert person, because I know she was like, after the release of Eat, Pray, Love, she was like viral, and now there's like some controversy, understandably, after the release of her second memoir, and so now she's I'm not trying to like add to the hate against her because I'm focusing on this book, but I'm aware of like the current controversy surrounding her and everything. But I don't know, I feel like there's just something that is like, it's kind of easy to say, like, as much as she talks about like, oh, my first few books were flops or did not receive recognition or were not this or were not that, it wasn't until Eat, Pray, Love that I became successful, and and I've written other books since Eat, Pray, Love that have not been nearly as successful as that one. And but it's still kind of just like, I don't know, I just feel like as a creative person, like, you do need to be aware that pursuing a career in whatever creative art that you decide to pursue is hard. It's hella hard. And that doesn't mean that, and there are aspects that are romanticized of each industry that are incredibly romanticized. And I do also appreciate her take on tortured artists, how it's not necessary to be tortured in order to be a good artist. And so like the romanticization, why can I not say that word? But you know what I'm trying to say, of those aspects, it's not good. And as a creative person, you kind of need to be aware that everything is romanticized, and you kind of just got to go for it. And if you really love it, it'll some things will work out and some things may not, and it may never work out. Like, you may never find your big break, you may not, but that doesn't mean that you should necessarily stop doing it. It's just something that you need to be aware of, and that doesn't mean that you stop putting the work in. So like, yeah, there's things in there that it's like, yeah, that's a good point, but again, these are things that, like, you learn these things on your own as a creative person. Or if you're not a creative person, I still feel like these are lessons you learn on your own. Maybe it's good to, like, have a physical reminder in your shelf if you need it, but I don't know. I just feel like it's all right, and I kind of just wanted to talk about it, because just overall, that's my frustration with the self-help industry, is just like, it's kind of like a one-size-fits-all, and a lot of self-help book, mind you, and like, the self-help industry is incredibly popular, and some people do get something out of it. Maybe I'm just too cynical. But I mean, but that's who I am as a person, and that doesn't mean that I don't find other ways to make certain things work for me. But I'm also aware that, like, I'm also not going to be disappointed if I try something. Like, let's say I try one of the things in here. I'm not going to be mad because it doesn't work out. It's just like, well, that's how it worked out for you. So I guess that's like my biggest complaint. It's just like, and not just with this, but just like self-help books in general. It's very like, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. This video's not really making any sense. I'll probably just stop talking now, but let me know. Have you read this? What did you think? Did you love it? Did it actually help you? If it helped you, I want to hear about it. There's absolutely no judgment for me. Everyone works differently. Like I said, I may just be too cynical for self-help books. But if it really spoke to you and resonated with you, I want to hear all about it. If it didn't speak to you or resonate with you, kind of like it didn't with me, I want to know about that too. Let me know. Bye.